Well, guys, this morning I've been sitting here contemplating, drinking my cup of coffee and contemplating. I've been thinking a lot. I've been thinking about how much my area has changed over the last few years, and especially in the last few decades since I've been growing up here. It has changed dramatically, and I can't quite figure out why so many people are moving here. I mean, why would people move to the county where I live at? There's really nothing here. I'm in East Tennessee, and this is typical of most East Tennessee counties and towns. There's nothing here. There's no good paying jobs here. I mean, if you come here, you're going to have to be able to work online or something before you can make a living, because there's no really good paying jobs here. There's a few factory jobs. You can work in the restaurants and the stores and things, which there's more restaurants than there are stores, actually. The only grocery store there are here is Walmart Supercenter. There is a Save-A-Lot, and there's a couple of family-owned stores scattered around here in the county, but not a whole lot. Then you have a lot of fast food restaurants, and they put those in because this area is a tourist attraction because of a national forest here in this county, the Big South Fork National Forest. And we also have ATV riding trails that people come to, so they come here from all over with their big trucks and their big trailers and their huge ATVs and SUVs and UTVs, side-by-sides, whatever you want to call them. They come here and several times a year for big events here to ride their side-by-sides and things. So that's even more people, but luckily those people actually leave after a while. But I've noticed over the last couple of years here, well, since the COVID pandemic started, I saw people starting to move here more and more and more. And now it's looking more like a city than it is living in the country, unfortunately. There's a lot of people here, and they will come here, and apparently they never change their tags on their car to represent the state that they're in or the county that they're in and pay the tax that they should be paying here if they're going to live here, because I see tags on people's cars and their vehicles from everywhere. I see tags from Georgia, Florida, Ohio, pretty much all across the United States. You can go, and if you look at people's tags on their cars and pay attention, you will see tags from pretty much everywhere. All over the country, people's moved to Tennessee. I could see, moving to certain places like Knoxville, Tennessee or something for these people because there's shopping there and there's jobs there and things. But moving here in where I am, I mean, there's nothing here. There's no jobs. There's really no big entertainment besides ATV riding and things like that. I mean, there's a lot of drug abuse. And now I'm seeing even homeless people moving in here. Up at the local Walmart, there's actually, you got the Walmart here, and you had the parking lot, and then you have a small space about probably the size of this room wide between the Walmart parking lot and the main highway. And there's someone living right there in that spot between the little strip of grass there between the Walmart parking lot and the main highway. There's been someone living there for the last couple of weeks. And trash everywhere. I don't know why the police haven't told them to move on, because if you have that happening and it's allowed to happen, then more people comes in and does the same thing. Next thing you know, you have homeless encampments right in the middle of town. So I don't get it. Why people are moving here at such a huge volume. I mean, it is crazy. You would think people want to move where there's jobs, where there's entertainment, but nope. I mean, we don't have no state income tax here. We have good gun laws, good self-defense laws like the Castle Doctrine and Stand Your Ground and things like that. But as far as being a place to live, it's not. And in my opinion, it's not, especially if you wasn't born here and you're just coming from somewhere else and don't have no family here, don't know anybody. You just come here and buy a house. And when they're buying these homes that's being listed, they are giving 3 times the price that they're actually worth. If you look at the property assessment, a lot of these people are trying to sell their properties to these realtors. They are upping those prices to way more than what the assessment value actually is. You have a house that assesses for, say, $150,000. They will price that for $300,000, and you'll have someone from New York or someone from somewhere else will sell their home there and come here and pay cash for a home that's priced double what it actually should be priced. And that's been going on, like I said, since the COVID pandemic. People coming from everywhere giving double the price for these homes and paying cash. And 2 years ago, the county actually raised the property values here. So my house here went from being $133,000 assessment value to overnight being raised up to $256,000, and my taxes went up. And I was told when I went to the county courthouse to say, why is this going on? I was told it's because everyone is moving here and they're paying huge prices, so they're raising their property values. So the people that was born here, trying to buy a home, trying to work at one of these jobs here, can't actually afford to buy a house because the people from New York and California and everywhere are selling their homes there for big prices and taking that money they have and coming here and buying homes, buying property for 3 times, 4 times what it's actually worth. So now the county decided to raise our taxes up and raise everyone's value up, so we all got screwed because of that. And I see people now, I mean, when I was growing up back in the 1980s and 90s, I was seeing you could buy property for $1,000 an acre here, just raw property, $1,000 an acre. And you never really heard of property over $5,000 an acre, even when it was excellent, level, field, had access to utilities and things like that. $5,000 was pretty much the top dollar that you would get for this raw property, unless it was like in the middle of town to be a commercial property. But now I'm seeing properties for a quarter of an acre priced at $65,000, $75,000. I mean, it is ridiculous nowadays here when you're trying to buy a property, trying to find a home. And it's because everyone's moving here. And everyone is moving here from everywhere else, moving to this town, this county, and they're causing property values to go up. You know, I can go in the 4-lane, the main traffic route through the main part of town here. I can go there, and you can just sit there for a minute, and it's bumper to bumper traffic going both ways. When I was growing up, I mean, you could go down the same area, and you might have 10 or 15 cars and trucks and things on there at any given time. But now, anytime you go, I mean, it's pretty much bumper to bumper. And if you drive out through any of these roads, these back roads, it's house, 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 house on both sides of the road. It's crazy. It really is. It used to be everyone here would raise a garden. They had chickens and farm animals. They had pickup trucks, and now we're seeing none of that. All we're seeing now is house, house, house on a quarter acre, half acre usually. House, house, house with nothing there. Sports cars and things like that. I mean, there's some people that have trucks here, but you're seeing more and more like sports cars and things here. And just house, 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 house. You go shopping, and depending on the time of the day, it is elbow to elbow anymore, it seems. There's far too many people here for my liking, actually. And some of these people that have moved here are actually good people, I would say. I actually know one that moved here from Sweden, actually. And she actually bought a farm off good distance by itself and has quite a bit of property. She's trying to be self-reliant. So people like that are fine. But these other people come in here, and a lot of these people that come in, they think they're better than the local people. They turn their nose up like they think they're better than people already living here because they came from California or New York. You heard these people. When I lived in New York, we did it this way. I can't do a New York accent, but or Jersey. When I lived in Jersey. That was awful. That was really awful. But anyway, I mean, it is crazy that the people have moved here, and I can't figure out why everyone is moving to these small counties, or used to be small counties. Now they're growing exponentially because of all the influx of people coming to Tennessee. This actually, you can see here on this graph, and this is Tennessee from the different years up to 2023. And you can see the population growth right here is 2023. The most recent, and Tennessee altogether has 7,126,489 population. And if you go backwards, you can see the population dropping. 2015, we were at just over 6.5 million, just over 6.5 million. If you go on down, 2003, 5,847,822. So every 10 years, it's increasing about 1 million people, it seems, here in Tennessee. See, right there is 1990. We had 4,890,626. So about every 10 years, it's increasing by 1 million on average, if you look at this. Not every year, but most years. You can see growing, growing, growing. I was born in 1972, so in 1972 when I was born, it was just over 4 million, and now we're just about at 8 million, so it's just about double since I was born, the population has. And if you take a state the size of Tennessee, and the population doubles, that's a lot of people in my lifetime that's been added to this state. And like I said, it's looking more and more like a city. We have plenty of drug use. Plenty of people not wanting to work. We have people stealing copper. There was a time here where when copper prices were fairly high, if you left your home empty, if you had a rental property, you had to guard that all the time, because if you didn't, and you was gone for a couple of days, and wasn't there to check on it constantly, you would come back and you would have your walls would be stripped out, and all the copper stripped out of the walls. This morning, the internet was down here, and I saw the phone company that controls the internet here. They posted on their Facebook. I looked at my phone because I have a cellular phone, so I can still look at the internet through that. And they said that it was down because of multiple cuts, and they said that it could be people stealing copper. So, and that happens all the time. If you have something in your yard that's worth any money, you better watch it. You better chain it down, because someone may come along and see that and say, I can steal that pretty easily. Come out at night, sneak into the yard, throw it in the vehicle, or sneak into the outbuilding and break in there and steal what they have, and I can sell that for some drugs. I done a video about the tallest bridge here, the tallest bridge in Tennessee, the railroad bridge here on this channel, and a couple months ago. And when I was looking and waiting for the train to pass over, a used syringe was laying there, and you can see where a homeless person had been sleeping there. So I don't get why everyone is wanting to move here to Tennessee for, especially in these rural counties, or used to be rural counties, because it's looking more and more like a city. Crime, drug use, traffic is getting worse, populations are growing. I don't get it. If I was going to move somewhere, I would look for some place where there wasn't all that much population. I don't get it, guys. What you think in the comments below? Why do you think everyone is moving to Tennessee?